Good morning, y'all. Happy Tuesday. I have gotten the garden watered. There are peppers ripening. It is beautiful out there. I wanted to show y'all my little garden haul this morning. We got green beans, okra, cilantro, hot peppers, some tomatoes that need to be parted out, little cherry tomatoes. I've got about 6 or 7 carbon tomatoes and Hungarian heart tomatoes still out there that that are still green. And so once they ripen, I will probably end up tearing those tomato plants out. But garden stuff is not actually what I was going to talk to y'all about today. I wanted to finally kind of come out and let y'all know what has been going on. Had been through a lot of changes the last few months, and I'm not going to go into a whole ton of detail just because it's none of y'all's business, and also because, just for the purpose of protecting my privacy and my ex's privacy. And again, I don't want to villainize anybody because I really don't think that's helpful. And I don't know. I don't think that like placing blame in any one direction is helpful at all. And I do have work today, so I'm going to make my breakfast while I talk to you guys. But essentially, a few months ago, my partner decided to leave. Now, he was traveling a lot for work at that point, but made the decision to leave. And I, we just decided not to continue our relationship for various reasons. And again, I'm not going to say a ton about that, but what I will say is, anytime you have, you build a life with someone, property, whatever it may be, and then decide to not continue in that relationship, there are typically financial repercussions to that. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. We are in the phase of having to figure all that stuff out, and it's not fun. But I do hope I'm getting through it with some amount of grace and some amount of just trying to be very understanding of, like his side, but at the same time protect myself, protect my daughter. And it's hopefully all of the financial stuff that has to take place will be done here in the next week or two. I have been praying, my church has been praying, my family has been praying that everything just works out and we're able to stay in this house. But there is a possibility that we may not be able to. I very much drew the line in my mind kind of early on that I will not go to court, hire lawyers, do all that for us to try to stay in this house. At that point, because if it came to that, my ex would be trying to have me sell the house because he would probably get more money out of it than what I would be able to give him refinancing. Now, there's some debate as to whether that actually is the truth. But, at this point, I don't, it's a house, and though it is our farm and we love it very much, it is still a thing, and the things that matter in this life really are our souls and people, not things. So, and I'm not willing to fight over, to fight over that kind of stuff. And like I said, if it came to that, then I think that's maybe, maybe the Lord's way of telling me, like, this is not for you. And I need to listen to that and just be okay with, you know, with doing what I need to do to extricate myself from that. That said, you know, the sort of alternative to all this, and we will still have the original property where I've been making videos for a while, where the high tunnel is now, where the garden used to be. You know, like that would be, we would still maintain that. And you know, would still continue to garden and grow food as long as we are close enough to do so. And I think, you know, at that point, there's so many different options that we could take. You know, life really could open up in a different way for us. And I'm trying to just be really open to that and really okay with, you know, whatever happens. So yeah, so that's what's been going on. You know, like, I know in the beginning my family was very concerned that like I was having to do the farm thing alone, right? And to be honest with you, though, many things have gone by the wayside. I'm not growing mushrooms. A lot of our chickens got eaten when we were on vacation, and I have not bothered to try to replace that flock quite yet because, again, I knew there was a possibility we might not end up staying and having a ton of animals that then you have to rehome. Again, also not ideal. So, you know, sorry, y'all, the flies. So some of that has sort of been put off. If we ended up staying, I would obviously try to replenish our flock. We're getting no eggs out of our chickens right now. We have the 6 or 7. We have the 6 or 7 that Black Copper Morans. French Copper Morans, Black Copper Morans, one of the two, that are not of laying age quite yet. And they will be coming into laying age as the fall gets going. So, you know, again, it's like whether we'll get any eggs before spring is sort of debatable. But, you know, we do, we obviously would take the dogs with us. The cats, again, I'm not sure. That would be a hard one because we are very attached to them, but my daughter is also allergic to cats, which is why our cats are barn cats and they live outside and we spend a lot of time with them. They're very affectionate. They love to be held and things like that. And we just adore them. But having 3 cats that are used to being outdoor cats, then having to bring them into an environment where it's like an apartment and then also having to mitigate, like, my daughter's out, like, we just probably wouldn't be able to do that. So, you know, like, it would be probably a bit tough, you know, on that front to rehome them. We might bring maybe one with us. I just, I don't know. We'll see. I haven't really gotten that far in thinking yet because it's a thing that I haven't had to think about. And I've had so many other things that I have had to think about. And it just, you know, like you're trying to put too much in the brain. It gets a little bit overwhelming, y'all. So, but, you know, as far as doing this solo, though it hasn't been easy, I will say it has not been nearly, I think, as difficult as one might expect. I mean, again, I think the overwhelm really comes from just going through the emotional stuff, not necessarily the, you know, having to water the gardens and the feeding of the animals and stuff like that. That has to happen. So, so that's sort of where we're at. I will keep y'all posted as I know. The appraiser is coming today. I think we're supposed to get that report by Friday, and then probably the following week we'll know for sure, like, what's happening, whether we're staying or whether we're going. So y'all, just, if you are the praying kind, just be in prayer for peace for myself and my daughter. Like, no matter what happens, again, like I'm really working hard towards being okay with having to leave a place that we love so much and that's been our home, that makes access to the garden really, really easy. But also knowing, like, if we do end up having to leave, like, it's going to be okay, and we're going to be okay, and we're going to find a new adventure somewhere else, you know, and maybe God has something better in store for us. So, yeah. So that's what's been happening lately, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.